And what's up, everybody? We are back here with another episode of I Love This Movement. Whoop, whoop. I'm sporting. I'm rocking my Chargers gear today. I like to rock the military one because, I am a veteran and that's what I like the colors. I think they're dope, But yeah, we're back. How's everyone doing? I know it's been like less than 24 hours since I've been on here. But it's been fun. It's been fun. It's been interesting. This has been an interesting ride. Been learning a lot about myself. Actually, just these past few weeks, I've been learning a lot about myself, about just things I'm getting used to doing. Putting myself in front of this camera and speaking my mind, speaking my no. All right, I think that's cool. Speaking my mind, speaking my puto. All right, and what I'm feeling, what I'm going through. What's up, Snow? Come here, baby. Come here. My little girl's here. This is my fur baby. Come here. Let's show everybody your face. Oh, give me a kiss. Oh, thank you. That's my baby right here. And so, yeah. So anyways. Yeah, so it's an interesting ride. It's been an interesting ride. And so I did start reading that book, though. The Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. I read the first chapter, and it's actually the first chapter is pretty much laying out like what emotions are for, and it tells you the fight or flight response. How sometimes you feel those emotions, and if you feel afraid, you might want to run, or if you feel angry, you might want to fight, and how those relate. So it's I just got to the first chapter. I like to go chapter by chapter, and if it works, dope. That works for me. And if that works for you, then do it. If not, then just read the 10 pages. I honestly, that's kind of like the format that I follow. That I try to read at least 10 pages a day. If not, I try to read the full chapter. But that's just how I do things. You can work yours out a little bit different. All right. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is the 75-day hard challenge. And that's a challenge I just completed. Maybe on April 30th, I did 75 days. Okay. Building these habits. Now, what is the 75-day hard challenge? Well, pretty much that. It helps you build better habits, right? And there's a set of rules that you have to kind of abide by in order to complete the challenge. Now, if you don't go by the rules exactly, it's okay. I mean, you could always modify it the way you want to, but for the most part, you want to follow these guides. Oh, and before I forget, I have a Facebook group now. And so it's I Love This Movement, the Facebook group. It's a free Facebook group. You guys go ahead and join and just check it out. I stream these live streams on there and on YouTube at my I Love This Movement YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to that. Make sure you join the group, put some comments, show some love. You can watch the replay, you can watch it live, you can watch the picture, or just read the description, whatever you guys want to do. I put little snippets on Instagram, just kind of see if people build some interest. I don't know, Instagram is really weird. So it's hard to actually put the link of the actual page where you can kind of click on it and it links you to the YouTube YouTube page. So I'm still trying to figure that out. If you guys know how to do that, hit me up. Like, let me know, because that's something I don't know how to do. But anyways, yeah, Facebook group, and I got my IG, and I got the YouTube. So I love this movement. Facebook group, I love this movement. IG, I have a little ticker for the IG. Boom, there it is. You see, and I have the Facebook group too. I love this movement. So join it, show love, show, whatever. So anyways, all right, let me get back to the 75-day hard challenge. Okay. And so where's my notes at? There it is. Yeah. So this 75-day hard challenge, 75-day hard challenge, it's a challenge to build like good, long-lasting habits. You've heard all that, like, the 21-day challenge, how 21-day challenge to build habits. But you see, the problem I have with the 21-day challenge, it's a good challenge. I'm not saying it's not. It's a good challenge. It's a good way to kind of get yourself into these challenges. But the problem that I have with it is that you don't keep them. People just do the 21 days and they're like, okay, I'm done. So if you do like, 21-day challenge, I'm not going to drink. And then those 21 days are over, you're like, boom, fall back into the same old habits. So 21-day challenge to create a new habit. It's just to create a new habit. Okay. And then I believe there's something like a 45-day challenge is to keep those habits. Okay. But a 75-day challenge is to really, or even longer, is to really embrace the challenge, to understand it, to make it part of your life now. And that's one thing that I've learned with this 75-day hard challenge. Okay. So, but anyways, what does the 75-day hard challenge, like, what are the rules, right? And so, first of all, you have to follow a diet. So my diet I was intermittent fasting. Okay. And so my fasting period would end at 12 p.m. and it will start at 8 p.m. So from the hours of 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., that was my window that I would eat. So, I would eat during that time. But anything after 8 p.m., that was it. I did you call that the 16-8. So 16-hour fast, an 8-hour window. And that's intermittent fasting. There's different apps that you can find, on your iPhone, on your Android, that help you kind of keep the timer with the fasting. But that's what I did. I try to set this up to make it easy for me and to what I wanted to change. I didn't want to make these changes and make them so hard. It's so unrealistic. We're like, I'm just going to change my diet completely. And then by like a certain day, you're like, man, like I can't, you can't anymore. Right. And so I just made it, okay, well, you know what? Like, I had this window to eat. Like, if I want to eat some tacos, I'm gonna eat some tacos. If I had a burger, I had a burger. That was cool. I most of the time I try to eat, like 90% of the time I would eat healthy. Okay. I would eat, my vegetables, plenty of vegetables, quinoa. I had my replacement shakes that I would have. I would drink, I didn't drink any soda, no alcohol beverages. I just straight up, like, when it comes down to food, there were certain things I left out. Like, okay, I'm not eating this, I'm not eating that. But I wouldn't limit myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't, especially if it was something hard for me to give up. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't limit myself. But I had that window. So pretty much you're replacing a meal. Okay? So that's one of the first rules. Follow a diet. I mean, you have to. It doesn't have to be nothing crazy. It doesn't have to be nothing that's gonna like break you mentally, but eat something. I mean, make it something that you have ease of doing. honestly, I believe intermittent fasting is probably one of the best ways to do this. Right. So again, 75-day hard challenge. Okay. Follow a diet. Okay. Number 2 is you have to work out twice a day for the minimum of 45 minutes. Right. Each one of those, and one of those being outside. Okay. You can't have any excuses. So there'll be times that I'm working out outside and it's fucking raining and I'm over here wet. But I just did it. I'm like, whatever. Honestly, it was kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. It was fun. Like being able to kind of challenge myself in that way. But like same thing. I adjusted the 75-day hard challenge to fit my lifestyle. That doesn't mean like I'm out there, I'm gonna go like do some CrossFit training and then go on a crazy ass run. Like that wasn't what I was doing. Okay. Like instead, I adjusted it to what I wanted to do, and that was dancing. Okay. And so my workout was dancing. And I did 45 minutes of dancing. And sometimes, like, I would do that twice a day, once outside somewhere and once inside. But that's all I did was dance. Okay. The other thing, well, that's not all I did. But another thing that I did was I would go for a walk. I'm going to do something. I'm not going to do anything crazy. Like, I'm trying to build a habit. I'm not trying to, like, break my body down to the point where, like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. You go out there and you work out and, like, like you go too crazy. And all of a sudden you go back for day 2 and you're like, my body fucking hurts. Like, I can't do anything. And, like, that's a sure way of failing at any type of challenge you're going to do. So you got to make this really personal. You got to make it for you. So yeah, when I seen the workouts, I was like, dude, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to the gym. I'm not doing no CrossFit. I'm not going for runs. I'm doing this, something that I want to do because I need this to help me. So I danced. I drilled. Even on the days that I didn't want to, I drilled. I was in here just let me go over this stuff, go over the lesson. And but that's what I did. I adjusted this thing for me. So I can be successful. Though the whole thing is to have this win and finish the goal, finish them, build these habits. So that's what I do with my workouts. Okay. So minimum of 45 minutes of dancing. And the other one, I would go walk. And that's why I promote the garden. That's why I promote the South Coast Botanical Garden, because that's my spot, man. I that's why I would go walk. And if I couldn't walk there for some reason, say like it was full or it was closed or it was too late, like maybe, I do have life. So, I go to school, I do this, I do that. So like, if I couldn't do that, then, maybe I would go walk at the beach or I would go to the park and walk. But like one of the crazy things that I go to this park called Wilson Park. That's not too far from here. And it's crowded. People are there, everybody with masks, of course, but it's crowded and it's kind of uncomfortable, So sometimes what I would do is I would walk around my backyard. I have a swimming pool and I would just walk around the swimming pool. I would throw on my weighted vest and I would just walk, put on a podcast or put on some music, something, and I would just walk. So boom, those are my 2 workouts. Okay. Now for some of y'all, this might be tough. Okay. But to this guy, it was really tough. and one of them is no alcohol or cheat meals. Okay. Yeah, that was hard. Because I love me my beer. I love going to microbreweries and having a beer, especially, when your cousin's like a brewer, like he likes to brew beer. And he always like, hey man, try this beer, try that beer. Man, I couldn't kick it with him for a minute because like, not to say like, I mean, he's a pretty healthy guy. He's in shape, but like, it's just that he has all these types of interesting brews that I was like, oh, I want to try this one, or I want to try this one. And guess what happens after if you have a few, you have a few more. And after those few more, you tend to eat. And when you eat way more than you should. And yeah, you go back to how I used to look like, which is the Marshmallow Man. so yeah. But you can't cheat. Okay. You can't have any cheat meals and you can't drink. So that was pretty tough for me. Actually, the one thing that was tougher than that was not being able to drink like sodas. I give up like Coke. I used to like have like drinking a Coke, So that became kind of tough to do. And so this is another big one that I liked, and I feel like it's important because it's a source of life, and that is H2O. You have to drink water, okay? 1 gallon. So what I ended up doing, at least for me to be successful, is that if you go buy water like in a gallon, or those like Fiji waters, man, that shit can get expensive. Okay, so I went to this local like water dispensary place where they have like alkaline water, and I bought myself this gallon. Like this one, actually, I bought one before this one that I gave to my sister, but I bought this gallon, and I go fill it up there. And then I bought myself like a 5-gallon tub of water, and I fill it up there. Man, honestly, for what you can buy, 1 bottle of like water at the store, I can fill this sucker up and twice maybe or 3 times over. Like cheap. 25 cents to fill this motherfucker up. Maybe even less. So like, that's what I would do. It was always on my way to walk or I had it here. And then I started changing it into like alkaline water. Started drinking more alkaline water. And, I've heard that it kind of promotes like weight loss, if that's true, I'm not sure, but I just like the taste now. And so if you buy like the same thing, if you buy alkaline water at the store, it costs you like $4 for like a 16 or 18 ounce, where I can get a gallon for $1. So like, that's what I would do. Given that, I'm gonna drink some water because I'm thirsty. Oh fuck, that's just tequila. I'm just kidding. So, anyways, all right. So, and I think it's important to drink water. Your skin looks healthier, and you just start feeling better. So, but that was a big thing with this challenge. You have to drink a gallon of water a day. Okay. You have to read 10 pages of a book a day. And it can't be anything like nonfiction. It can't be your Harry Potter book. It can't be The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. It can't be Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham, which I'm kind of upset about that, man. I can't believe they like straight, canceled or taking off Dr. Seuss. They're saying that I guess he's like racist or something like that. I mean, and I understand like the person might be, but like, man, those are great books. Like I don't know. I don't even want to get into that bag of worms right now. I have a lot to say about that one, but yeah, but you got to read a good book anyways, right? Like I talked about some awesome books to read, which is like, Think and Grow Rich, Outwitting the Devil, both of those by Napoleon Hill. There's the Mamba Mentality. There is this book actually that's really good. It's called The Power of Ritual. Awesome book. You need to read that. It talks about how your rituals can help you out throughout your day and improve your day, actually. So that's a great book. And I got to go look for that one, but I'll if anybody wants to know which one it is, just hit me up and then I'll send it to you. But right now I'm reading this book, this one, Emotional Intelligence. I just started reading it today, and it's I don't know yet. I can't really tell you. I just read the first chapter. It takes more than that. So boom. And then one of the other things to do when it comes down to the 75-day hard challenge is you got to take a progress picture every single day. You can't sleep on that because people, you forget to take a progress picture. I forgot a few times, and sometimes I would take it super late, right? And but then that's your progress. That's how you know if you've been making a change, and change happens over time. It doesn't happen right away, right? And so another thing about like kind of some rules when it comes down to this challenge is that you have until you go to sleep to complete the day. So like, for instance, for me, a few times, I had exams, or I was taking a quiz and I was studying, or I was doing something like that. And like, it's 3:00 in the morning, yo. It's 3:00 in the morning. And I'm like, fuck, dude. I still got to read my 10 pages. And I muscled up the courage somehow to be like, all right, so it's 4 o'clock in the morning when I finish, because in between that time, I'm like falling asleep, right? But like my will to finish the challenge was more. I wanted to finish this challenge more than I wanted to finish anything at that time, because I needed this win, right? And so, I read that book, and then boom, I wake up a few hours later to go to class or to take a test or to do something like that. He goes, but that's the cool. I mean, I guess I don't know if it's a cool thing, but to be quite honest, at least it's flexible like that. Like, hey, if you didn't go to sleep till 7 a.m. and then that's when you finished it, hey, you finished it. And then when you wake up, now you got to cram everything better. That's why it's better just to plan out your days. But that's what the challenge is. You have until you go to sleep to complete any of these tasks in the day. You can't listen to audiobooks. That's a big no-no. You have to physically read a book. And I like that because I was an audiobook person. And so like the past books that I listened to were on audiobooks. And, but now that I started physically reading, like, I don't know, it's different. Like I connect with the book better, at least that's my personal opinion. So for some people that right there is like, oh, that's it. I don't want to do this challenge. And then one of the last thing is if you fail, you must start over on day one. Yeah. That's kind of tough to do. I had a few friends that had to do day one restarts, because they're like, damn it, I forgot to take a picture. Damn it, I forgot to, something. I mean, you could have some wiggle room, but if you want to be authentic, you got to follow it to the best as you can. Honestly, like I have an asterisk on my completion because I forgot to take a picture one day. And that was like one of the last days. And so what I ended up doing, I took a picture in the morning and then I took one in the night of that day. So I just leave it with an asterisk, like, and that was, it is what it is, right? But to me, I completed because I completed everything. I did everything else to the T, and it was just that. There was one other thing that, like, when I looked up this challenge, it had another challenge. It had another part to it, is that you have to take a 5-minute cold shower, and on the PDF version that I have, it doesn't have that, but I added that, and yeah, I would take a cold shower. Doesn't matter when you take it, but you just got to take a 5-minute cold shower. And the reason for that, it's supposed to reset your body. It's kind of like a recharge, like when you think about when people sit in the ice bath and they're like, kind of turns off their neuroactivity and just kind of resets you. So that was actually a habit that I got into because of this challenge. So now, like, generally what I do is depending on how, if it's cold or not, like outside, it just depends on where I set the temperature at. Like I usually start with hot water, and then once I kind of get myself in there, then I start turning it down into a temperature where I was like, okay, it's cold, but it's not like I'm not dying, because honestly, temperature is really a perception thing. Like it's like what I perceive as cold is not what you perceive as cold. Like you might think like, oh, I can go colder. You know what I mean? So everybody's perception is different when it comes down to what they physically feel, as in, like pain or heat. And so that's what I say. Just use your best judgment. Just make sure it's cold and not too cold. But that's even something, if you don't want to, you don't have to do it. So that's the cool thing about this challenge is you can really adapt it to whatever you want to do. You don't have to be have like, oh, you have to do it like this. Like, no, it just says you got to follow these guidelines, which is follow a diet, 2 45-minute workouts, no alcohol or cheat meals, 1 gallon water a day, 10 pages of reading, and take progress pictures. That's it. But it doesn't say like what order you should do them. It doesn't say, what type of diet you have to follow. It doesn't say what type of workouts you have to be. You just have to work out for 45 minutes 2 times a day, and whatever that might be. And so, Let's see. So like one of the hardest things for me when I started this challenge was drinking a gallon of water a day. Yo, that was hard. That was like the hardest thing at first. Like honestly, the workouts were like whatever, because I mean I like dancing. So and the walks were really enjoyable, especially when you go walk somewhere pretty, right? And so, but even reading the 10 pages was no problem. Like, especially when you read a book that's really gonna help you out. But the hardest part was not the cheat me, not that I couldn't cheat or drink alcohol. At first was the fucking gallon. Like that was the hardest part. Why? Because I had to pee so much. Like I would literally drink like a cup or drink to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm chilling. And then all of a sudden, gotta get a pee. Gotta go pee. Gotta go pee. Gotta go pee. Gotta go pee. And I was like, damn, yo, like I am peeing so much. Like sometimes I would pee so much that I would think like, man, how is there anything left in there? Like for real. Like I couldn't even, yeah. And so like, what funny thing about it is that like, I found this, this meme, right? And it says nutrition. And I'm gonna read you guys the meme, right? It says nutrition fact. If you drink a gallon of water per day, you won't have time for other people's drama because you'll be too busy peeing. Stay hydrated, my friend. And I was just like, hey, that shit's fucking true. Cause like I would pee. Yeah, that was the tough part. Not pissing my pants. And then especially like, cause you have to be tactical about it. Like if I started drinking my water too late and like, it was like nearing bedtime and I'm like, yo, I still got to drink my water. And then, I'm trying to, in order to kind of complete the daily tasks that was one of my daily tasks I had to complete. Right. And so I'm drinking the water and then I'm like, okay, I finished. So I would wake up like 5 or 6 times in the middle of the night trying to go pee. So like, you have to be tactical about like when you're drinking your water, when you're doing all these things. But yeah, it was, that was probably one of the hardest things. Like, how did I set up my challenge for me? Okay. So like, of course, like I was going through a lot of different things in myself in my life. Right. And, so I knew there was something that I had to go back to, like was dancing. Like I had to get back into that. And I wanted to find that love that I had for it again. And, reading these books, like, what is it? Or even hearing, I think some of the audiobooks before I started reading, it said like, hey, like you have to kind of like be persistent. You got to push. You got to be. This is some of that stuff that you have to practice, right? And man, it was a like it was something that I needed to do in order for me to really find my love for dance again. And so the way I set it up was obviously I made it easier for me to be able to complete it. Okay. At least I altered this challenge to fit the lifestyle that I wanted to have. Okay. And that's the key to this. Like you need to alter it to the lifestyle that you want. Like I didn't care about going to the gym or doing that because that's like, I can go to the gym. I can. He goes, but like I've already done that and I've gotten into habits where like I just stopped going. But I wanted to change my lifestyle. I didn't want to just, like, oh, I go to the gym and work out. Like, nah, like I want to have a more fitting lifestyle, a more active lifestyle. And so I know it's hard, and that was hard to do, especially during the pandemic, right? But that's the lifestyle I wanted to have. Like every time I would see really active people, like I'm like, man, that's kind of what I wanted. And so like, how do I make this happen for me? So when I did this challenge, that's what I did. I'm like, well, I'm gonna start walking every day. Some people would go running, but I was like, I'm gonna go walk. Fuck it. Like I'm making it easy for me. And so, well, I would walk, and then I would dance, and then I made it a point. And some of y'all, seeing that I was just like, hey, at this time I'm gonna be dancing. If you guys want to jump on, if not, whatever, I don't care. Same thing with like this, what I'm doing here. Like, if people listen to it, awesome. If they don't, it doesn't matter. So if when people find it, if one person finds something out of this, like, man, my job is done. That's all I needed to do. And go. So that's what I did with the 75-day hard challenge. Is I set it up for me, and that's how I found success at it. And even then it was hard because there was moments I was just like, man, I don't want to do this. But like the desire to finish what I started is what kept pushing me through. That's why I would stay up super late, and just like, man, I just got to finish. That's why I would do like some recordings at 3:00 in the morning, because, man, I was like, I just got to finish. I got to do my 45. I got to finish. So that's where I started building up that desire. Like, people think like that shit just comes like, oh yeah, I'm passionate about this. And then all of a sudden, what happens? Like, you're passionate about something, and a few days later you forget about it. To truly be passionate about something is something that you got to do every day. And it's not like enjoyable either. That's the truth. Like, you're not going to like doing it. It's going to take work. It's going to take work. You're going to have to apply this shit every single day, whether you want to or you don't want to. You just got to do it. And that's what I think the 75-day hard challenge does, man. It just gets you to that point where you really find like some burning desire, in order, and find you start looking at yourself and seeing like, man, this is, if you want to like fall in love with something, really, this is the blueprint right here, right there. This thing right here, the 75-day hard challenge. Like, that's a blueprint. That's how you fall in love with it, because it takes what Napoleon Hill says on Think and Grow Rich and then applies it into a form of something that you want to do. But the thing is that people try to make a change with not even knowing what the fuck they want to do. Like, really look at this and see what type of change you want to make in your life, and then apply this to it. Sauce, it's done. So that's what I did. I set up this challenge for me in order for me to be successful at it, and come out with a lifestyle that I wanted. So what did I learn during my experience? Man, I already talked about it a little bit, but persistence. You got to be persistent. Like, how many times have we tried to, like, what I talked about the other day, imposter syndrome. You start doing something like, oh man, I feel like an imposter. And so you stop doing it because you're like, oh, people must be saying this about me, or, or you just feel like why am I the one who's doing this? Like, fuck it, dude. If nobody else is doing it, like, you do it. That's why I'm doing this. Like, I don't see anybody else doing this shit. Not in our community. Like, in the half, please, like, link me up with them, because I want to talk to them. But I don't know anybody. Not the way I'm doing it. Like, it was, but we do this. We need this. Do I feel it sometimes? Hell yeah. And honestly, I'll be quite honest with you guys. Like, yesterday, I didn't feel like going on. I was like, man. And that's why it took so long to jump on. But I was just like, you know what, man? Like, I just got to do it. And it works out because, somebody reached out, was like, hey, man, like, I started reading more because, like, you motivated me to read more. Man, that's what makes it worth it. Like, it makes it so much worth it. And this is how I came up with this topic today, about talking about my experience with 75-day hard challenge. Because I heard other people talking about their challenges. Like, oh yeah, I'm doing the 21 day, doing the 45. And I tell them, hey, like, this is the one you want to do. Just keep it going. But why are we so afraid to do a challenge like this? Because it's hard? Yeah, it is hard. But that's how we build. That's how we become successful. Doing the hard stuff, doing the stuff that we don't want to do. Let that resonate. You know damn well you've done something that, or there was an action that you wanted to change, but you were like, oh, I stopped because it was too hard. But you still want to make that change, but you're not willing to work for it. Man, she just doesn't come easy. You got to work. It takes sweat. It takes tears. It takes that moment that you're just like, man, I just can't. And seeing yourself at the lowest moment, because that lowest moment is when greatness comes out. Going through that hardship. That's where greatness comes out. Because you got to dig deep. You got to dig deep. You know, there's more than just like just getting to that level. Okay. If you want to be like, oh, I want to be up there with like the greatest dancers, I want to be like the best dancer. Okay, boom. You're the best dancer. But what are you going to do after that? You're going to continue trying to be, you're going to continue grinding and working on the things that people don't want to work on? Or you're like, I'm the best dancer. That's it. I'm done. No, you want to stay up there, right? So you got to keep working at it. It's persistence. And that's what this does, man. It makes daily habits. It teaches you daily habits. You know, but it takes more than just dancing. You got to take care of your mind. You got to take care of your soul, your health. That's why they have a diet included in there. That's why they have exercise, because realistically, one of those exercises should be something that you love to do. Which is dancing, right? For us, for most of us, is dancing. Why wouldn't you want to? You love doing it, so just add that. Just because you were like, well, just because I dance all the time, so I don't feel like it's an exercise. Well, you're fucking looking at it at the wrong way. That's an exercise. Trust me, there's been moments that I've been like, dude, I can't laugh because like I've been hitting so hard that my like like my sides of my serratus anterior and my lats are all like sore. And so I started laughing. I'm like, oh, I can't laugh because it hurts. But you know what? Like, man, I've improved. Like, that's one thing. I'm gonna dig up some old videos of me from like right before I did this challenge to like and do a comparison. And I've seen it. Like, I'm like, holy shit. Bet I'm a lot cleaner. Like, I was like, oh shit. Like, Like, I'm happy with that. Like, it looks dope, dude. Like, you know, but it took hard work, man. It was a grind. It was definitely a grind. And so we got to lean into. That's why you're gonna constantly hear me say this. You got to lean into what makes you uncomfortable. This shit made me a hell of uncomfortable. There was moments that I was just like, man, all I want to do is just sit down and play video games and just sleep. Now I'd be like, nah, man, you got to get up and move, dog, because you owe it to yourself. And so some of the things I started doing was I actually started buying these motivational quotes behind me. You know what I mean? Like the one right up here, never give up. Man, that was a big one for me because I always look at that. I'm like, man, you're right. I can't give up. You know, the one right here. No, right there. You know, set high goals. You know, even this one back here, champions. But my favorite one is that one right there. That one right there. Mindset. Mindset is everything. And so that was actually one of the things that I'm glad that came out of this was my mindset. Like it's changed. It's been different. It was really cloudy for a minute there. Like I talked about being down that rabbit hole, and that's crazy because you don't have to be like on drugs. You don't have to be an alcoholic. I mean, there's just a lot of things that happen, especially with mental issues that harm a lot of that can send a lot of people with that into a rabbit hole and fall back into those things. So one of the things that I'm glad came out of it was, my mindset being this way, being able to steer into a direction that I feel uncomfortable. Like I'm glad that's what came out of it, because a lot of times I'd be like, man, fuck that. That's not me, dog. Like straight up, if I want to go fucking hood, I'm gonna go hood. Like I remember I went to this conference once it was a veteran conference, right? And it was called the Student Veterans of America. And it was held here in Disneyland, in California. And man, this they had like a breakout session. So there was like a main speaker speaking, and then after that, they had breakout sessions. They're like, hey, let's go. You're gonna set up with the people from like a West Coast, talk to West Coast and the East Coast and stuff like that, right? And so like I was with two other veterans that were in my club from California State University, Dominguez Hills. And then when that happened, they walked off like, hi, my name is this, and blah, 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 and I was just like, the fuck is this, yo? Like, man, I don't fucking do that shit. Like, fuck that. And so, like, in the end, back then, I smoked, right? I smoked heavily. And I was like, man, fuck that. And so I went out to like what we call the smoke pit, which is just the area the smoking area. We went to the smoke pit, and then I just like brought one out, and I'm just like, and that's where I found all the fools that thought just like me. They're like, man, this is fucking stupid, dog. Hell yeah, these motherfuckers like this, man. Like, why'd you come? He goes, dog, I thought I was gonna go to Disneyland. Like, dog, why'd you come? Dog, my cousin's like right here. And they asked me, why'd you come? Homie, I'm getting paid for coming. I just got to do whatever I can. So like I'm chopping it up, but that's how we chopped it up, and but we were missing a skill. We didn't allow ourselves to be able to kind of like have that skill. So I didn't want to drive into that what makes me uncomfortable. I didn't want to be able to build that habit. But I learned really quick that, man, you know what? I need to do these things if I want to be successful. I got to build habits, good habits. Thus came this 75-day hard challenge a few years later, right? So that's what I'm glad what happened. It really gave me control of my mindset, right? I wasn't such a negative Nancy. I'm sorry if your name is Nancy, but not sorry, I guess. Sorry, Nancy. So what goals did I set, right? Man, number one, the one that I'm still working on, because like I don't think it's ever done, is mastering my own mind and emotions. Like there's a lot of things that I wanted to be able to control and to be able to be empowered by, and that's my mind and emotions. And actually that's crazy, because this book right here that I'm reading, that's something that it talks about, like that it's that you have like two thoughts. Like you have an emotional thought, what's in here in your heart, and you have one that's in your brain, right? So you have two different thoughts. And so what you want them to be aligned, to be on this level right here, right? And so my emotional thoughts, sometimes like that's what I'm having issues with, is that like my mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes, baby. Yeah, for real. That's how it is, And so my mind's telling me like, hey, dog, like be in control, but when my emotions get the best of me. And that's like I snap. Man, y'all can relate to that, right? If you do, like drop a comment that I can relate. But that was me, bro. My mind's on top, but my emotions aren't on par with it. So like that's what I'm trying to fix now. And so another thing is I wanted to improve my dancing, which man, I've improved. I know I have. I see it. Other people see it. Like it feels good to level up. So like that just gives you more motivation to be like, I'm gonna do this more, fool. Like I leveled up, but I'm gonna level up some more. That's just how it is. And so it improved my dancing. And so that was one of the goals that I set. It made me feel better about myself, which is the third goal I set. Like, man, I started feeling good. And I started feeling happy. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was moments there where I was just like, bruh, I don't want to do this. And that's always going to happen. But that's like when you need it the most. That's when you need it the most. When something tells you like, don't do it, that's when you should do it. Like, and especially if you start feeling that way, then you should do it. That's the first thing you should do. The very first thing you should do. If you're like, man, I don't feel like walking today, then that's the very first thing you should do is go walking. If you're like, oh, I don't feel like recording like my dance video today, well, that's the very first thing that you should do is record your dance video. Because if you procrastinate on that, like all that's going to happen is you're going to catch anxiety. And when you catch that anxiety, you push that shit off. And then if you're trying to get into a battle, if you're trying to get into like, get your mentors to critique you on something, or if it's just you stepping out of your limelight, like all you're going to do is just make yourself feel worse. So make sure the thing that you're most uncomfortable with doing, that's the first motherfucking thing that you do. And I'm sorry I'm cussing, but like I feel extremely passionate about that shit. Make that the first thing you do. Make that the first thing you do. The first thing. If you don't want to write that paper, that's the first thing you do. If you hate tutting, make sure tutting's the first thing that you work on. If you hate waving, wave first. If you hate popping, pop first. If you don't like drilling, make sure you drill first. And if you need something that keeps you on task with that, look up the Tabata timer. It'll help you with the rounds. But that's what you got to do. Do that shit first. And that's what I would do with this. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved walking. I liked walking. I actually enjoyed all of it. Even like taking a picture. I would take off my shirt and take a picture. The 10 pages, I enjoyed it. Well, it just depended on the book. Sometimes books get like good, they get bad. If it was like a book that was like, it's kind of like stagnating or it's not as enjoyable, then I would make sure to read that first. If not, then I would read it towards the end. I always try to read my books in during the middle of the day. Another thing that I would do too is I would sit outside and read the book. Let the kind of natural sunlight hit me. Like, just feel that. Just feel the air and the wind. And be like Pocahontas. Out there with. Yeah, I forgot. I was going somewhere with that, but I lost it. Anyways, but yeah, I would be the first thing I would do. So like, man, whatever makes you uncomfortable, something. If you're gonna do this challenge, do what the thing that you don't like doing, like first, okay? And so, like, would I do it again? Like, hell yeah, I would do it again. Now, I'm down to do it again. I'm gonna format this and cater it more to us, the dancing community. May it be like, instead of like taking a progress picture, maybe I'll put like, oh, you got to upload a video, of yourself, a weekly video. You have to hit like 5 different points across the thing, like maybe it's like a picture of yourself, you know, alive or something like that, just to kind of get us out of our comfort zone. Because as dancers, we got to be seen by people. We got to be talk to people. People got to get to know us, right? And so I'm going to reformat this. Reading, hey, y'all know that's going to be on there, because like I think the reading is the most important part. Like honestly, that's where the mindset and the whole like feel good part of it come in. Drinking the water is staying, because you got to drink the water. No alcohol or cheap meals. I'm gonna add some other stuff to that too, because like when you're doing this, you need to be focused and have, be clear of mind. The 45-minute workouts, one is it's going to be popping, and then the other one's going to be something else. Maybe I just keep it the same. Just one of those has to be dancing. And then following diet, because you gotta take care of your body. You are what you eat. So if you eat hamburgers every day, then you just ain't nothing but a hamburger. Unless that's your dancing name, then like, what up, hamburger? But you know what I mean? Like if you want to take care of everything, your health, your spirit, your mind, it all works. Because one of those is offline, you won't be offline. Everything is offline. And so that's the cool thing about this challenge. 75-day hard challenge. Hell yeah, I'd do it again. Actually, I'm going to do it again. Actually, it's more of a lifestyle now. Like, that's the crazy thing about this challenge is that another thing that got hard with it is that I would forget that I was doing a challenge. And that's why I didn't take that picture that day, because I was just like, man, this is just my life now. Once I got closer to the 75 days, it was just my life now. Now I'm getting closer to the 90 days. On Sunday, my 90 days, and I actually get to drink that day. Sunday, I'm going to Disneyland. Yeah, I got tickets to go to Disneyland, and I'm gonna have a drink that day. Man, I earned it. But anyways, like, yeah, I would do it again. I'm gonna do it again. Honestly, I just want this to be part of my life now. So one of the things I'm gonna add to it, at least in this one, because I'm gonna have more time after I'm done with this class, is I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna start going to the gym. I'm still gonna do my walk. I'm still gonna do my dancing, but I'm gonna add a little bit more of an actual like weight training regimen, something that I used to do. I got my weights and everything here, but I want to kind of sometimes get out of this room, because sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in here. When I'm in this room, it's all business, and I don't want that. So I need to kind of like probably go to the gym or something like that. I don't need nothing crazy, Planet Fitness or some shit like that. So, but yeah, that was but the challenge got hard, because sometimes I felt like I wasn't doing enough, even though I would hit every single mark, and I would hit every little tick in there, right? And I would fill every single bubble, both sides, boom, boom, right? And I would hit every single bubble. Like, it still felt like, especially towards the end, like I wasn't doing enough. Like I was like, man, that's it. Like, that's all I'm doing. That's all I did. And so that's how you know that it's like, all right, man, this is just something that I do every day now. This is just part of my life. And so that was what was dope about 75-day hard challenge. Yeah, do it. It's life-changing. If you alter it, if you kind of follow my path to it, especially for us dancers here, like, man, if you do it that way, you're going to level up. You're going to level up no matter what, because you're going to put the grind in. So you're going to be able to achieve. Okay. And just keep pushing through. Now, given so, I want to read something that Sprite sent me. Mikey, Funny Bones crew. Shout out to Funny Bones crew. Shout out to Sprite. And he sent me something because I think, as I said earlier, he hit me up and told me, like, man, dude, like, you inspired me to start reading, and so he bought 3 books, right? And he showed me, he highlighted some of those quotes or some of the things that he found like useful for himself. And I want to share that with you because I liked it a lot. And so the book, the book that he's reading is called How to Be an Artist by Jerry Saltz. All right. And this is what he sent me. I'm only reading the highlighted parts, which is one one way. Sorry, let me do that. One way to think about art is that it's a visual language, usually nonverbal, arguably pre-verbal, with the power to tell us more in the blink of an eye. It is a mean of expression that conveys the most primal emotions. Art is also a survival strategy. Each day presents artists with new ideas and holds beliefs, continuances and brutal breaks, enduring beauty and decay. The artist is on continually evolving path. Sorry, let me read that again. The artist is on a continually evolving path, accumulating experience, but always starting over. I want you to entrust yourself because that's what you'll need to get you through the dark hours of the creative night. I want you to open yourself to what the philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein meant when he said, "My head my head often knows nothing about what my hand is writing." In other words, learn how to listen and the work will tell you what it wants. So start your engines, jump in, feel your imagination engaging with reality, push away boundaries and conventions, and changing before your eyes. Never feel intimidated. Art is just a container you pour yourself into. Fire. Thanks, Mikey. Again, that book, which I'm gonna get, that's gonna be like one of the books I'm gonna get, man. That you hooked me with that one, and I hope y'all found something inspirational in that. And I want to know, like, send me stuff like that, guys. Send me stuff like that. Uh, if you guys find books and something that you find inspiring, hit me up, let me know, send me a picture, you know, because man, I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share it here with you guys because I sometimes I think there is so much growth in text. You know, you're gonna find something in it. And again, that book was How to Be an Artist by Jerry Saltz. Such, man, that was fire. So I just want to leave you guys with that. Be kind, stay fresh, get down. Shout out to my dope squad. And I love all y'all. Peace.